Hey guys, it's Katie, and I'm here today to do the Happy List book tag. This tag was created by Catherine Lyle over at the channel Catherine Lyle. I wasn't tagged by anybody, but I just decided to do this because we always need a little bit more positivity in our community, so I figured, why not? Without further ado, let's get into the questions. Number 1. A book you can always go back to and feel happy. There are probably a couple that fit this bill, but one is probably, of course, going to be The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I adore that book. I can read it over and over again and always get something new, and I just have so much nostalgia surrounding it that I just can't help but love it so much. So I'm probably going to say that one. Number 2, your standums, your number one joy-filled fandom or fandoms. For TV show and movie fandoms, I love being part of the Bones fandom. It was one of my favorite fandoms that I was part of. I always loved being part of the Harry Potter fandom and the Sherlock fandom and the MCU fandom, despite the drama in the last two. And finally, I'm probably going to say the Merlin fandom. But in terms of bookish fandoms, obviously Harry Potter is a fun one to be part of, but also the Realm of the Elderlings fandom. We're not very large. We're actually quite a small community, and while I'm not friends with a ton of people in that fandom, I have definitely found friends to talk to about that series, and it just always brings me so much joy despite all of the heartbreak and just sad things that happen in that series. There's just so much there to talk about and analyze, and I've made so many friends through that series. So I'm probably going to say that one is ultimately the one that I go towards. Number 3, type of book cover you'll always pick up at a bookstore. So if you guys haven't seen my Eye Candy of 2019 book video that I did a couple of months back, I'd highly recommend going to watch that. But basically, if it's bright and intricate and has like lovely designs on it or painted, basically if it doesn't have a portrait or photograph on the cover, I'm inclined to pick it up, but it has to be bright colors. I typically go for like blues, reds, greens. I love color covers that are like that. And also if it has intricate patterns and like really pretty things on it, I mean, honestly, if you've seen the Realm of the Elderlings covers, that is the type of cover that I would pick up in a bookstore. I love covers that look like that. And I'm not talking about the US editions because the US editions are gross. I am talking about the UK editions. I'll put a picture up of one of my favorite ROTE covers here, and you guys can get enough of a gist through that. Number 4, a book trope that you love. So I'm going to take this in two different directions. A trope that I really, really like are just really anything that deals with boats, ships, pirates, assassins, things like that. Those are all huge, huge buzzwords for me. So is mythology. If it is a mythological retelling, I'm going to be all over that. But I'm also taking this in the romantic trope direction. And in terms of romantic tropes, I live and breathe for mutual pining. And I'm not even remotely joking about that. I love mutual pining in any way, shape, or form. Also slow burn. Those are the two romance tropes that I just live for. Number 5, an anticipated release that makes you happy when you think about it. So if you guys don't know, I don't read a ton of anticipated releases because I just don't have time, and I have so many other backlogged books that I want to get to. So I had 2 anticipated releases from this year, and I read both of them, and I was highly anticipating both of them and super excited about both of them. But my excitement factor for one of them was short-lived because I just kind of binged the trilogy, so I didn't have as much hype surrounding it. So I'm going to talk about the other one, and that is The Sea Ain't Mine Alone by C.L. Beaumont. This is a historical romance novel that follows 2 gay surfers. And that's about all I'm going to tell you about it. It's so good. and so wonderful, and it just brings me so much joy. Plus, I knew the author and I've heard her hype it for quite a while, and so that just made it extra exciting for me. But I guess I could also talk about one other one that I am really excited to read, but I haven't managed to get a copy yet, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue. It just sounds so interesting. If you guys don't know, I normally don't pick up contemporaries, but if a contemporary has another kind of genre shoved in, I'm more inclined to pick it up. As I said, historical romance or mythological romance, things like that, I'm more inclined to pick up rather than just straight up like high school, college, contemporary. There are a few exceptions, like The Bones of You, which I also read/reread earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that book. But Red, White, and Royal Blue follows the president's son and the Prince of England as they kind of interact with each other and then ultimately fall in love, and just kind of what happens afterwards. And I'm just really, really looking forward to it. It sounds so cute and just right up my alley, and I'm just all about that. Number 6, an author whose full canon of books you love. One author I can think of that I've read the entirety of their works, and that is Dan Brown. I've read his entire Robert Langdon series, plus his 2 other standalones. I just really like everything that he does with his worlds. They're really interesting, not because the mystery is interesting or the plot's interesting, but I just really love how he intertwines all these different things like art and history and language and architecture and mystery, thriller, murder mystery stuff. Like, I just love the intertwining of all of that. So I've literally read every single one of his books because they're really quick, they're really easy, and they're entertaining. So yeah, I'm probably just going to say him because I haven't read the entirety of the works of people like Robin Hobb or J.R.R. Tolkien. They have quite a large number of written works to get through, and while I've read the majority of Robin Hobb's books, I still haven't gotten through all of them. And I've read Tolkien's most well-known books, but I'd like to get through some of his other ones as well. So I guess the only author that I could really think of where I've read everything they've written is Dan Brown, and I really liked all of his things, some more than others. Number 7, your coziest go-to reading snack or drink. I don't typically read and eat food or drink at the same time, but on the rare occasions that I do, it usually is more of a drink than anything else, and I am all about tea, especially if it's on a cold, rainy, or cold winter day. Just tea or hot chocolate with a nice, cozy book is just perfect. Number 8, a book you've shared with your family or friends. There are a fair few that I have shared with my family and friends, or at least tried to convince them to read, and they've added it to their list, but I haven't gotten around to it. First is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I literally recommend that entire series to literally everyone, despite me also being terrified to recommend it because of how much it means to me. It's one of those double-edged sword situations. Another one is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. I loved and was absolutely captivated and enthralled with that book when I read it. And I just want more people to read it because I know of, I think, one other person who's read that book, and I hardly am able to talk to them because of our living situations, and just our lives are just too chaotic and don't work together. But I just want more people to read The Historian. It's just so good. Those are probably the 2 that I recommend to people the most. Then number 9, a fellow booktuber or book vlogger whose content always brings you joy. There are a couple people I'm going to talk about for this question. One is Kara from Wildwood Garden. I love her content. She is just such a lovely person, and I really, really enjoy consuming her things. And is Spencer from Common Spence. He never fails to bring a smile to my face whenever he uploads. I just love everything that he puts out. He's so funny and witty, and he just comes up with so many unique, original things, and I just love him. And then, of course, I also really like Tom from TJ Reads the Stars. He is the brightest light of this community in a lot of ways. He has so much positivity to spread around to everyone, whether it's through his videos or on Twitter. Just he is such a wonderful human, and I love him so much. And then the last person I'm going to mention is Vendy from Caught Between Pages. I adore Vendy with my whole soul. She's just such a lovely person. She's puts out such wonderful comments. She's so supportive, and she's just goes out of her way to build people up, and I just really love that. Plus, her content is lovely. She puts out a lot of really interesting and unique content, like her Bookie Cookin' series, which I just love with my every fiber of my being. I'm surprised more people don't do stuff like that on here. But she's just got so much to offer, and I love her so much. And finally, number 10, name something about the content you create that you love. One thing that I love about the content that I put out is that it brings other people joy. In some way, shape, or form, I've just come to have this small community of people that really enjoy my content, whether it's the way I do my reviews, which I get a lot of compliments on, or the discussions that I put out, which people seem to really enjoy. They think I'm very insightful. So just the fact that my content can bring some people joy in some way, shape, or form. I tag a bunch of people down in the description box below, and if you are watching this as well, feel free to do it and just say I tagged you. But other than that, that's about all I've got for you guys today. You know the drill. I have both of my social media links down below in the description. I have a Twitter, which is @ASeaofTomes, which is the same as my handle over here. And I also have a Goodreads where you guys can go follow and see what I've been reading and follow my progress and see my general thoughts before I come and scream at you about them over here. But other than that, I'll catch you later with another video soon. Bye!